What's up, guys? It's your favorite neckbeard Dakota. I don't know what the name of this channel is. We're going to figure that out when I start uploading. So let's get started in our first tech news video. This first article comes from TechCrunch, and we're going to be talking about Thor Fredrickson's Trivia Royale game hitting 2.5 million downloads in 3 weeks on the Apple Store. In its first few weeks of release, the latest game from QuizUp founder Thor Fredrickson took the top spot in the game section of Apple's App Store and was the top app for a brief time in the App Store at large. Since its June 17th launch, Trivia Royale has been downloaded more than 2.5 million times, with day 1 retention of 45% and week 1 retention of 45% on iOS. According to the company, average daily usage per user is around 30 minutes, and it currently sits in the number 6 spot in the free games category on the App Store. Well, there's no shortage of mobile games out there, so how does this one stand out from the rest? Well, it allows players to take place in a 1,000-person single elimination trivia tournament and is built upon the Tea Time Games platform. Tea Time emphasizes the fun of playing against other humans in the mobile gaming landscape, giving users the ability to communicate via video chat while they play in a game or on their smartphone. So it's kind of like Trivia Crack, I guess, but I don't have an Apple phone, so I'm not really in the loop on this. But from what I understand, it kind of sounds like Trivia Crack with a massive tournament, and you get to kind of FaceTime video chat your friends while you're humiliating them for not knowing anything. That sounds fun. If you want to read more about that, the TechCrunch link will be in the description below, and you can check that out on the Apple Store. Our next article comes from Engadget. Amazon Prime Video will soon have the content, but it needs a better home. Now, this is something I feel kind of strong about because Amazon's content sucks and their user interface sucks, and I'm paying for it because I have Prime, but I'm not using it, and that's kind of a bummer. So earlier this week, Amazon announced that it would finally add user profiles to its Prime Video service. Okay, that's one step. At long last, you can separate profiles for each family member up to 6, so that your watch list and recommendations don't get mixed up. It's a simple feature that could really have been there from the start, and is a stark reminder of how backwards and lacking the Prime Video experience is compared to the competition. Man, is that true. That is 100% true. And that's a shame, considering how much money Amazon is sinking into original content. Take the company's investment in the Lord of the Rings prequels, for example. Production has now dragged on for over 2 years and will likely cost up to $1 billion. There's also the recently announced Fallout TV series by the makers of Westworld. Amazon will have no shortage of high-profile programming, but if it wants to convert subscribers and keep them, it needs to bring the service into the present. Amazon's first video service was introduced in 2006 as Amazon Unbox, which allowed users to rent or buy TV shows and movies, similar to iTunes. Then, long after Netflix incorporated streaming into its business, Amazon entered the subscription video market in 2011. The company knew it couldn't compete with Netflix in terms of content, so to draw subscribers in, CEO Jeff Bezos decided to add the service to the company's Prime free shipping program. That's honestly the only thing Prime Video has going for it, is that it's included with Amazon Prime. If it wasn't, I don't think there's any reason anybody would want to subscribe to it. I mean, they don't have content and their user interface is garbage. If you want to read the rest of that article, it's on Engadget, link in the description. Our next story comes from The Next Web. Google-backed Indian delivery startup Dunzo suffers data breach. Google-backed Indian hyperlocal delivery service Dunzo said that it suffered a data breach that left customer data, including email IDs and phone numbers, exposed. Dunzo provides pickup and delivery services in over 7 cities in India. Given the majority of India's business relies on offline commerce, through Dunzo you can ask a delivery person to visit a shop to purchase something and deliver it to you for a nominal fee. The service also allows you to pick up a package from a friend's place and drop it at your home. I sincerely doubt that anybody in India is watching my videos, and I doubt this applies to anybody in America since this is a local delivery service in India. But data breaches are always a big deal. If for whatever reason you have used this service in America or have traveled to India recently, I mean, just change your passwords, check your emails, and do what you can do to protect yourself. VPNs are always nice, dummy accounts, burners, randomly generated passwords. If you have something like Dashlane, data breaches are no joke. They can have serious repercussions for a lot of people, and let's hope they get this sorted out as soon as possible. Alright, and our next story comes from Wired, and this one really puts the smash And Smash Bros. That's a terrible joke. This really isn't funny. The Super Smash Bros. Community reckons with sexual misconduct allegations. Dozens of people have come forward over the past week, many pointing to a culture that they say enabled rampant predatory behavior. That's not good. That's not good. Let me go off on a tangent here. Everybody's talking about Dr. Disrespect right now, how he got banned from Twitch, and nobody really knows why. Well, Twitch is kind of coming to a reckoning with these sexual allegations from various streamers, I guess, and there's really no definitive word on what happened or what is going to happen. But Twitch is pretty much taking a shotgun approach to if you have any allegations against your name, um, past or present, you're probably not going to be on Twitch for much longer. And digging back a little bit, Dr. Disrespect had some infidelity issues with his wife. It's really none of my business or anybody else's business at all, really, because Dr. Disrespect is a completely separate character from his real life counterpart. And when you're playing a character, I don't really think what you did in real life should apply to that character. It's like Tim Allen. Everybody loves Home Improvement, but not a lot of people know that he used to run Coke back in the day. But we all still love Tim Allen. We love Home Improvement. And we love Toy Story. So if we can let things like that slide, why can't Dr. Disrespect continue streaming on Twitch for cheating on his wife? His wife doesn't even is cool with it. The dude's a millionaire. Like, I don't think she has too many problems with it. Let's be real. Anyway, back from that tangent, let's get back to the Wired story. Over the past week, allegations of rampant sexual misconduct have quaked the Super Smash Bros. Pantheon of top players and personalities. From the most celebrated Smash Twitch streamers to longtime tournament champions and local heroes, the Smash community is reeling from a series of dark revelations. Dozens have come forward on Twitter to describe allegations, alleged grooming, sexual assault, and statutory rape they've experienced from Smash pros and commentators, some of whom have hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitch and YouTube. The allegations come amid a broader reckoning over sexual misconduct in the video game industry, but in interviews with Wired, competitive Smash players and fans say the community's informal structure, egalitarian ideals, multi-generational appeal have all inadvertently contributed to an unsafe environment. Others say a culture of hero worship and fear of social repercussions have allowed misconduct to fly under the radar for years. As the Smash Esports #MeToo moment persists, those closest to the game are taking a biopsy of its rotten tissue. Again, this article comes from Wired. You can find it in the link below. I don't have a whole lot to say about this. It's an awful situation. I've probably said more than I actually intended to about it, but it's an awful situation. I think if you're going to take advantage of your position to groom minors, you absolutely should be thrown into the spotlight. And I don't think, man, that's just messed up, man. That's just messed up. And I hope some good comes out of this one way or another. I really don't know what to say about it. It's very surprising, but also I don't think anybody's honestly too surprised. I hate to say that, but anyway, I hope some good comes out of this. I don't want to continue harping on this. It's a messed up situation, and man, I really just hope some good comes out of it. Our next story is from Tom's Hardware. The rumor: the next generation of Intel Core i7s will feature 8 cores with 12 threads. Now, before I even read the article, that's a little odd. I think we all know that, with like Ryzen processors, you get 6 cores and 12 threads. With hyper-threaded i7s, you get 4 cores and 8 threads, or whatever the case may be. 6 cores, 12 threads. If you have hyper-threading, most of the time, except in like the older, I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head, but I think there were some older processors that had like, weird offset hyper-threading or simultaneous multi-threading, whatever you want to call it. Whatever isn't the simultaneous multi-threading is the name for it that I'm trying to think of. But anyway, usually they double the core count. Your threads usually double the core count, except in some weird situations. It looks like we're getting back into that weird situation. Again, this article is from Tom's Hardware. You can find the link in the description below. Even before Intel's latest generation Comet Lake S desktop processors launched, there were already rumors going about surrounding the generation after it. Rocket Lake S. That sounds dope, by the way. I want to go to Rocket Lake. Now, there's a rumor stemming from Video Cards with a Z, or Z for my Canadian brothers, 2 hours from here, stating that the Core i7 chip will feature 8 cores with 12 threads. This could be a typo, but if not, it is odd to say the least. Okay. Thank you, Tom's Hardware, for validating whatever it is I said that I've already forgotten. The site doesn't name the source, but claims it is reliable. We'll see about that. 3 tiers of Rocket Lake S chips can be spotted, ranging from Core i5 up to the Core i9. The Core i5 chips are listed to feature 6 cores with 12 threads, and the i9 chips, 8 cores with 16 threads. You might wonder how come the i9 chips don't have 10 cores and 20 threads like the current gen Comet Lake S i9 parts do. But there's a simple explanation to that. Rocket Lake S is expected to be the first new line of chips from Intel that comes with a new architecture but remain on the 14nm fabrication process. Given these changes, Intel would no longer be able to cram 10 cores onto the die as it would grow too big, as even the Core i9-10900K is already at the limits of what the 14nm silicon can do. This 8-core limit was already rumored back in 2019. Man, okay, now manufacturing processes kind of matter. Intel's been on 14nm for, geez, I have no idea how long. And yeah, I would imagine they're pretty much at the peak of what it's capable of doing. Like, I don't think you can squeeze much more out of 14nm. But I guess they're trying. I don't know. I don't know. New architecture on the same process. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Our next article comes from CNET. It is inside the luxury nuclear bunker protecting the mega-rich from the apocalypse. Welcome to the survival condo. This former Atlas missile silo turned luxury condominium complex offers the world's rich and powerful a chance to buy into the ultimate life insurance. An apocalypse bunker that promises the perfect combination of shelter and style. The survival condo has a lot of the hallmarks of your standard fallout shelter. It's underground, 200 feet underground in the middle of rural Kansas, which is good. They have a lot of tornadoes there. 200 miles from Kansas City, it was built during the Cold War as a nuclear missile launch facility. It has also been retrofitted with 9-foot thick, 9 foot thick with 3 C's. Reinforced concrete walls designed to survive everything from tornadoes to 12 kiloton nuclear warheads dropping half a mile away. Wow. So that's a real thing. That's a thing that's happening. It's a little bit concerning that these people in the know with all the money and the supposed intelligence to be able to see important events coming are investing in 9-foot thick concrete, freaking 200-foot underground nuclear fallout bunker. That's concerning. Like, probably, I don't want to put on my tinfoil hat. It's too early for that, but that's concerning. Our next article comes from 9to5Mac. If you're an iOS user, I'm going to have to ask you politely yet firmly to leave. I'm just playing. You can hang out if you want to, but we don't talk about a lot of Mac stuff around here. 50 plus new iOS 14 beta 2 changes and features. This comes from 9to5Mac. If you're an iOS user, this would be worth checking out because there's a lot of changes coming to iOS 14 that are pretty interesting, including picture-in-picture, files widget, app library clarification, music app haptic feedback, and a whole list of other changes. You can read more about that at 9to5Mac, link in the description below. Next article comes from Gizmodo. Dude allegedly spends $8,000 of honeymoon money on a gaming PC, and we have questions. Boy, do I do too, but mostly do I have respect. Like, dude, the balls you have to do something like that. My girl would kill me. My girl would divorce me and leave me wherever we were at. Like, she'd just leave. She'd probably destroy it. She'd probably throw it out the window. She'd probably set fire to our apartment and then kill me and then let me burn and then summon my soul from hell to like be a man succubus and to torture me for the rest of my eternal soul life. Like she would absolutely destroy me is the point that I'm making. But let's see how he pulled it off. Again, this comes from Gizmodo. The r/relationship advice subreddit. Oh, that's a great place to start. As an endless source of entertainment. Take, for instance, this incredible post. A distressed woman's fiance spent all $8,000 of their honeymoon savings on a gaming PC, and she's looking for advice on what to do. My natural instinct was to shout, "Dump his ass." Don't do that. I'm sure he had a good reason. There are many, many red flags in this relationship, the least of which is $8,000 is a lot to spend on a gaming PC. That is absolutely correct. Like, dude, even with like a 2080 Super and like an Ryzen 3950 or something, I don't even know how you would spend $8,000 on a computer unless you bought like 3 of the most badass monitors you could find and like just the most expensive everything. But $8,000 is a lot. I have a perfectly adequate 1080p gaming. Okay, this guy's probably doing 8K with $8,000. You're 4K. If you have $8,000, you're probably doing 4K. But I mean, I'm pretty happy with my 1080 rig. I get 60 FPS in every game I play. I'm perfectly happy with that, and it costs maybe $800. Where are you getting $8,000? Anyway. There are many, many red flags in this relationship, the least of which is $8,000 is a lot to spend on a gaming PC. Even some of the most extreme DIY builds only amount to around $5,000. Taking peripherals into account, that still doesn't total $8,000 unless he also bought a new chair and desk. The Reddit post was made July 9th, and OP said that her fiancé was asking for a PC last month, so that means he purchased the PC between June 1st, 2020 and June 30th, 2020. OP said her fiancé had been doing nothing but gaming for the last 2 weeks, so brother, we've all been there. And she said it took 1 week for the PC to arrive. So that means he would have ordered the PC around June 12th, plus or minus a few days due to human malware. Build time can take anywhere from 5 to 10 days, so that would actually put his order closer to the beginning of June. By knowing when he placed the order, we can extrapolate what he bought based on component availability at the time and the release of specific parts. We also know that it's likely he didn't build it himself, so there are shipping fees and labor fees to take into account, which will vary based on where he lives and what company built his PC for him. One Redditor created a potential list of parts on PC Part Picker, which is a good starting point to help figure us out exactly what this man bought. Now, this is pretty entertaining. If you want to read more of this, it's on Gizmodo. The link's in the description. You can read more there. That's pretty wholesome. That's pretty funny. So the last story comes from the New York Times. It's AI's threat to white-collar jobs. I'm not going to read this one because it's more of an editorial piece from like a first-person kind of perspective. But yeah, let me just say that eventually AI is going to take over all our jobs, and we are all going to be slaves to our robot overlords, and I, for one, welcome them with open arms. Kill all humans, except me. Anyway, insert that clip from South Park says they're going to take our jobs, because yeah, they probably are. AI is probably going to take all our jobs. Tinfoil hats. But, you know, that's probably going to happen. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. This is my first video on this channel. I hope to do this reasonably every day if I can. Anyway, smash that subscribe button if you want to see it again tomorrow. Hit that like if you enjoyed it. Hit the dislike because the algorithm doesn't care, and as long as you engage with it, I still win. So if you don't like it, don't like it. I don't care. Just hit the button. Anyway, take it easy, guys.